Greetings goers of YouTube, just call me Dr. Storm. So as a 28-year-old man who grew up on YouTube poops, I've never watched any videos from the channel Ryan's World, formerly known as Ryan's Toy Reviews. It's primarily aimed at kids, despite the face of the channel approaching his teens, and with it being a family channel, you know there's allegedly a lot of exploitation going on by the parents. At least this guy's not the dad, I guess, and half the thumbnails would probably have Ryan's feet in them. Well, recently, Ryan's World released a movie called Ryan's World the Movie Titan Universe Adventure. And despite the family making millions off of YouTube to the point where they could pay select movie theaters to screen it, they didn't exactly have the money to bribe the critics for positive reviews. The movie looks like shit, and I don't think I really need to watch it in order to confidently label it as such. But that doesn't really matter, because Ryan and his movie aren't really the subjects of today's video. No, our subject today is another user who suffered through this movie to share his experiences with us. This user being Trev's Movies, who reviews movies of all different genres, but seems to have his most prominent reviews be for kids' films.
Ooga shaka, ooga, ooga, ooga shaka, ooga, ooga, ooga shaka, ooga, ooga, ooga shaka, ooga, ooga.
From what I've seen of Trev's channel, he started out with shorter, more basic movie reviews, but gradually became more loud and eccentric for the sake of entertainment over time. One could argue that he's being ironic or playing it up with his behavior. However, from what I've seen, I don't think his demeanor is something he really forces too hard, and I don't think he's really trying to play a character. Or at least if he is, he honestly does a pretty good job at it.
And you're probably wondering, how did Liberty call the Paw Patrol? She doesn't have a phone. Dogs don't have phones. I'm going to blow up a train. No, I'm not really, but every time I record, a train goes by. I think trains hate me. The Polar Express. I hate that movie. I don't actually. I love the hot chocolate scene.
Well, regardless of whether or not you think this content is satire, we're in for a hysterical time today. So without further ado, let's start the review.
I hate you guys so freaking much! That's not true, I love you guys. Thank you for watching my stupid ass all the time, but...
Okay, so right off the bat, he technically ruined the joke by explaining it was a joke, but I honestly just find the immediate concern he has for his audience potentially not knowing he actually appreciates them pretty endearing. Already, Trev's Movies has established himself as someone who respects his audience and their supports. Unlike other creators I've covered on this channel.
The shit I am willing to do for you guys! Why? Why did you do this to me? Is it because I missed that Paw Patrol movie last year? People, I was going through something. I literally could not function one bit. I couldn't go see it, even though eventually I did. But at the time, I couldn't go see the freaking movie. Is it really because I missed that stupid fucking movie?
I don't really know what you were going through at the time, Trev, but if you reviewed the movie 8 months ago, then it wouldn't really make sense for your audience to still be holding a grudge over it by now. And even then, kids' movies seem to be your most popular reviews, so it would also make sense your audience votes for you to see a kids' movie.
So because I'm not happy with you guys one bit, I'm not gonna play my normal intro music.
I mean, with how much you've been smiling throughout this intro, you don't really look all that angry.
But instead, this.
Fuck you!
Oh, thanks for reminding me about Hell of a Boss's existence, because with how boring the last few episodes have been, it's honestly getting a bit hard to even remember the show for its offensively bad writing. And for, well, other reasons.
Ryan's World the movie, Titan Universe Adventure, is out in theaters right now, and it's, it's a movie. Why the fuck did you guys send me to this?
Why did you put it in the poll for your audience to vote on then if you didn't want to see it that badly?
When his twin sisters, Emma and Kate, get sucked into a mystical comic book, Ryan has no choice but to rise up as the great big brother that he is and jump in after them to get them back before his parents catch on. Alright, so just a fair warning, if you didn't see the timestamp on the video you just clicked on, this is going to be kind of a long review. I already know it just while I'm recording it, because I have a lot to say about the movie itself, my theatrical experience, which, trust me, is the funniest part of this whole video.
Oh, you're getting me excited, Trev. Getting me hard for that hilarity.
And then Ryan's World itself. And one more thing I need to say before we get into it. I am so hoping that someone who works for Ryan's World or Ryan himself finds this video. Like,
well, considering you currently only have around 1,000 subs, Trev, he probably wouldn't be seeing your review. Also, why are you so adamant that people go out of their way to make sure Ryan sees this review? Is this actually a user rant disguised as a movie review and you want to give him a punishment compilation for not saying Shrek 2 is the second coming of Christ or something? Because, I mean, that would actually be worth punishing a user for, but still.
help me make sure that someone who works at Ryan's World or Ryan himself finds this video because, oh my god, they are gonna fucking hate me.
Are you getting off to the idea of a 12-year-old boy hating you? Let's just move on.
So yeah, Ryan's World. You probably think I know of it from the YouTube channel. Well, yeah, but that wasn't my introduction to Ryan's World. My introduction was actually when he was on Nickelodeon for a little bit. And I also couldn't tell you if the show he was on was also called Ryan's World or something completely different.
It took me 5 seconds to Google Ryan's World Nickelodeon to find out that the name of the show was Ryan's Mystery Playdate. Like, you really couldn't have just looked this up before filming the review?
As for the YouTube channel and the kid himself, my knowledge for all of that is very minimal. I know he's like one of the biggest names on YouTube, especially when it comes to like YouTube kids and stuff. He's mostly popular for his toy unboxing videos, and at this point, he is so rich that he's probably worth a lot of money. And, on top of my head, that's about it. That's all I know.
No mention of the ethics of forcing kids to do YouTube content at a young age? Strange, but I guess you don't really need to know that to know who Ryan is.
But even though I'm not that affiliated with Ryan's World, I decided to check out a few videos before going to see this movie. And boy, some of this might have been cute when he was a little kid, but now, not only is he way past his so-called cute prime, but also, he is way too old to be doing some of this crap.
Alright, a pretty good point.
A great example is a video that apparently came out recently where him and his kinda questionable family went to Chuck E. Cheese to promote the movie. And there were two things I quickly realized while watching this video. One is that no one, and I mean no one, gets that excited for Chuck E. Cheese pizza.
There it is.
Woo! Oh, that's a lot of pepperoni.
Last one to grab a bite is a slowpoke.
Dig in.
Good choice on the pepperoni.
I never really went to Chuck E. Cheese all that much as a kid, so I don't really remember the food all that much to comment on how good or bad it is. However, this is clearly a marketing deal with the restaurant to promote the movie, and they're a family channel making content for kids, so it's expected they're going to really play up the pizza coming out.
And the second thing is that Ryan is 12 going on 13. He is way too old for Chuck E. Cheese. Now, if this was for like his two little sisters or something, that would be one thing. But, as I said, this was to promote his movie and to promote his new pepperoni pizza. Also, he did this at the end of the video.
I'm taking a picture with Chuck E. Cheese.
Again, way too old for this.
Valid criticism, but again, it's a marketing deal and they make content for kids. Kids love Chuck E. Cheese, at least they're supposed to, so Ryan's family will do anything to attract as many impressionable children as they can so that the rate of new kids watching the channel at least keeps up with the rate at which current viewers outgrow the channel.
I'm honestly waiting for the point where he just stops doing toy unboxing videos and starts unboxing like vapes or something. That I would watch.
I don't think he's going to be doing that anytime soon, because again, kids.
You know what, Ryan? Since I'm so excited, can I play first? Please, 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 please,
Okay.
please. Oh, thank you.
Oh my god, this guy's fucking nuts, it's hilarious.
I have some shit to say about the fucking dad. I'll just say it. What the fuck is up with this guy? Either he is one of the greatest actors living among us, or he is one of the biggest man-childs I have ever seen.
Well, considering it's YouTube, it's most likely the former. Though there are a lot of man-children on this site, so it could honestly be either one.
So yeah, in conclusion, Centaur Records, _Polymation, and VRBoy706, I exposed your little ass on VR chat. Go fuck yourselves.
And I don't mean that in like the John C. Reilly, Will Ferrell stepbrothers kind of way. I mean it more like, you ever seen the Robin Williams movie Jack? Where it's like a 10-year-old kid who grows up really fast, so he's kind of stuck in this 40-year-old man's body? That is this guy!
Ooh, don't let me interrupt.
I mean, as shit as that movie was, Robin Williams was at least somewhat endearing. This guy looks like he's gonna strike an Easter egg hunt with all the kids scattered.
And again, Ryan is 12 going on 13. What the hell is he still doing calling his dad Daddy?
Daddy! Daddy, where did you go?
He probably forces Ryan to call him that on camera because that's what the viewers are used to by now. How are you complaining this much about Ryan's World and not talking about the controversy about the parents allegedly forcing him to be on camera doing all these videos on a regular basis? Because that's like the only thing I hear about whenever I see this channel brought up in passing.
I also have a prediction that once Ryan hits puberty, if he hasn't so already, either his parents are gonna kick his ass out of the house and then milk the 2 little girls for all they got.
A pretty plausible hypothesis, minus the kicking Ryan out of the house parts.
Or Ryan's gonna take over fucking everything. Their house, the YouTube channel, everything.
Are you seriously convinced that Ryan is forcing his parents and everyone around him to work on these videos and it's not the other way around? I don't think I've ever seen anyone else have this perspective.
It'll be all like, whose world is it? Whose world is it? Ryan's, yeah! It's my world, you motherfuckers! It's me, Ryan! I make all the money, you suckers!
I know I should probably be calling this guy retarded for being ignorant about the likely existence of slow burn child abuse, but goddammit, how can I hate a man who unironically does a really good impression of the dream face reveal by pure accident?
As for the 2 little girls, I really have nothing to say about them so far.
Well good, let's keep it that way.
But as for the mother... In 2002, the mother was arrested for theft of clothes at a JCPenney store. Bet you didn't know that one, did you, Ryan?
I mean, he's 13 years old, and if someone like you knows this information, then there's a good chance he knows about it by now too. And even then, it's just shoplifting. It's not something way more earth-shattering like murder or rape. Like, not condoning shoplifting or saying it isn't a crime you should be punished for, but it's very low on the crime tier list. It's like a white woman crime. Even though Ryan's mother is Asian, but yeah, let's just move on before I cancel myself.
I so hope he finds this fucking video.
You're not hoping for that because you want to stop by for a cupcake eventually, right? Also, I forgot to mention it earlier, but yeah, his shitty chroma keying is pretty funny.
And while everyone else is gonna go out and see Alien Romulus this weekend, I had to skip out on that Thursday screen to go watch this dumb bullshit!
From what I've heard about Alien Romulus, I honestly couldn't tell you whether that's a good or a bad thing. I've seen the first 2 Alien films, I think I'm good.
Oh, and Ryan, you know how much I didn't fucking care about seeing your stupid fucking movie? I'm right now wearing an Alien shirt that says, I'm a hugger. It's a face hugger from the Alien Romulus movie, which I'd rather have fucking seen yesterday.
And yet the alien iconography on your shirt is completely unseen for the rest of this video, while Ryan is very clearly visible on the backdrop throughout the whole review. Got him?
I would just love to bring up the fact that the same time and day that I wanted to see this piece of crap, my brother was moving into college. He gets to go off to college, meet new people, and apparently live right next to a fucking sorority house while I make an ass of myself for the fucking internet and at the theater I saw this at.
You can't like go out to a bar or hang out with friends on Discord instead of doing this shit? Who am I kidding? With the YouTube content I spend time making, I'm probably not one to talk, am I?
Which I guess can transition us into my story about this whole theatrical experience, which, trust me, it's a doozy.
Well, alright, you better not disappoint Mr. Trev's movies.
So as I got closer and closer to my destination, aka the theater, I slowly started to just die inside. Like, I was just dreading what I was about to do. So I get to the theater, I go up to the door, and I stand there for a good second, and I take a deep breath. Oh yeah!
Do we keep listening? I'm kind of afraid to keep going right now.
And I open the door, I go up to the concession stand because, you know, every movie theater does tickets at the concession stand now. And I say to the guy, feel free to laugh. Brody fucking hell, god damn it!
You told the movie theater employee who was just doing his job to burn in fucking hell, goddammit?
Yeah, but I'm recording! Alright, my brother rudely interrupted, but back to the story.
Why the fuck did you leave this in the video? Like, I'm sure this is just a normal brotherly spat and you guys are pretty cool with one another. But just be wary of any bald assholes out there who use this clip to say you abuse your brother after they try grooming him into letting said misinformation spread for internet clout.
Tectone has given me the ability to not only finally have a platform, something that I was unable to achieve at 3 years, but he has also given me the ability to monetize my channel.
I don't like Tectone, to be honest. I resent him very deeply. I don't hate him, but I resent him. He fucking ruined my reputation in the gacha community on the last gacha cast. Hold on.
So, I go up to the concession stand, and I say to the guy, feel free to laugh, I need one for Ryan's World. He looks down at his POS system and is just like, what? So I had to explain to him that I'm a film critic. I'm a film critic for YouTube. And I had to say that a couple times. And he's just like, I don't believe you. You need to prove that right now.
The movie is rated PG and you're clearly an adult. He may have thought it was strange, but I don't think he could have kept you from seeing the movie. It sounds like you were just mega embarrassed over mild and reasonable confusion.
So I'm not even kidding. I had to pull out my phone, pull out my YouTube Studio app, and show to him that I was a film critic, and I had to tell him that you assholes sent me to this butt-fucking movie! But despite showing him the YouTube channel, to fully prove that I was a film critic on YouTube, I also had to write the name down of my channel on a piece of paper.
He said the story was really funny, but now I'm honestly just really confused.
Oh, I forgot to mention, it was only me and the two guys at the concession stand for a little bit, like no one else was in that lobby. And if you follow me on Instagram or saw my YouTube community post, then you'll know that I posted a picture of me posing right next to the poster in the freaking theater, which obviously means that I had to get one of the employees to take the picture for me because no one came with me. It was just me, myself, and I.
You couldn't have just taken a selfie with the poster? Phones have been able to do that for quite a while. You didn't have to ask the employee if you had just taken a selfie. I was joking about you having a humiliation kink earlier, but now I'm kinda convinced you actually have one.
And if you're thinking, how can the story get any worse? You just had to ask that, didn't you?
I didn't, but go on.
So I get into the theater, and for a good 15 minutes or so, I was the only one in the theater. After that 15 minutes, I don't know what is with people and showing up to every fucking movie so late after its start time, but walks in this mom, the two kids, and I guess the grandparents, who I don't know why they brought the grandparents. They clearly didn't want to watch that. Maybe they just wanted to experience their grandkids' first theatrical experience. I don't know.
So the target demographic for the movie walked into this kids movie starring kids?
But oh my god, I was already embarrassed, and I was even more embarrassed, and I tried so hard to not make eye contact or move a freaking muscle. I hated myself so freaking much this day. Not this day that I'm recording it, but the day I saw it.
So if you hated yourself so much to this day, with this day being the day you saw it, you're saying you stopped hating yourself almost immediately then?
I would also love to give a shout out to a good friend of mine who at one point was willing to go to this movie with me, but she couldn't because she's going to be going out of town soon, so she couldn't make it, but she was still willing to go with me.
Yeah, she was going out of town on such short notice. Yeah, sure. So she was so gung-ho for seeing Ryan's World the movie. Absolutely.
But I'm a little glad that she didn't come with me, because after this whole experience, I don't think I'm ever allowed to show my face at that theater ever again.
Did they tell you this was the case, or are you just overreacting out of embarrassment again? I mean, sure, you're screaming now, but most of the plot points and interactions as you've been describing them, minus you orgasming before going to the theater, I still don't know what the fuck that even was, seem incredibly tame to the point where you were kind of just weird and not causing that big of a ruckus.
And you guys want to feel even worse for me? I didn't see this at the theater I work at. I didn't see it at my local Regal where I have Regal Unlimited to where I can see the movie for free. The nearest theater that was showing this movie on Thursday, I'm not making this up, was a goddamn hour away! So, to there and back, this was a 2-hour ride there back. Fuck it, I don't care. That's how committed I am to this fucking channel that I am willing to drive an hour out of town to watch some dumb shit like Ryan's World.
So wait, if the movie wasn't even available at your own movie theater, wouldn't this have been a good enough reason to not include it at all in the weekly poll? I don't know, for as much as you're screaming in agony about having to go see this movie, this whole situation seems like it could have been easily avoided.
Now, if it was something like Joker Folia Duh,
Joker's Folia... what? Oh, Joker 2 is called Joker Folia Dur. He just said it weird to be funny. Honestly, this name and him having a mini-stroke there would have been equally believable.
then that's different, because that's Joker 2. I want to see Joker 2, but this is goddamn Ryan's World.
You can still see Joker 2. The movie's just not out yet. And you don't have to watch Ryan's World again. What's the problem exactly?
I'm just gonna say it. Sean Chandler, Chris Stuckman, Jeremy Johns, the guys that double toasted, any other film critic on this platform ain't got shit on me, because I had the balls, the gonads, the testiculars to go see Ryan's World, the movie, Titan Universe Adventure.
Oh my fucking god, where have you been all my life, Trev's movies?
What the dick fuck are you fuckers clapping at? We saw the same movie!
Okay, I'm not saying I condone screaming at kids having fun, but this just feels like the correct way to do it. Also, you might want to get your arms checked out there. They seem to be phasing out of reality.
So before I finally get my thoughts on this movie, let me just say that I am fully aware that this movie is for a certain demographic, that being kids, but for whatever reason, anytime I talk about a kids movie and just go shit on it, people seem to get really irritated.
If anyone's irritated by this, then just fuck them. They hate comedy then.
Please get this through your heads. I'm a film critic, so as a film critic, it is my job to go and critique whatever movie I decide to go and see and review, no matter the demographic in age or gender.
Yeah, he doesn't discriminate against anybody or for whatever reason. Fuck the people hating on this guy. This man is based as shit.
Also keep in mind that you guys sent me to this movie. You voted on it on my freaking poll.
Yeah, you fucking hypocrites sent Trev's movies to die for our sins. Eat shit, fat.
And I know that this is such an easy target to rip on, but with that said, yeah, of course this movie fucking sucks dick. It's one of the worst movies I've seen this year.
Yeah, fucking preach, King. Whoa! Whoa! I just lost my fucking mind there for a second. Thanks for snapping me out of that with your clapping there, babe. I appreciate you for that. Alright, so where were we then? Oh yeah, this man in his 20s describing a movie meant for toddlers.
First off, I'm very convinced that Ryan or his parents paid a shit ton of money to get this put into theaters because not a single damn thing about this movie screams theatrical release.
Paying movie theaters a shit ton of money is how, well, all movies get into theaters, really.
Right when it started, I was dumbfounded at the filmmaking because everything about this screams Nickelodeon Movie of the Week or at least a Paramount Plus original. Everything from the lighting, the effects, editing, acting, to even the animation in the animated half isn't worthy of the big screen.
From what I'm seeing here, yeah, valid points. Even if I saw this movie for free, I'd feel scammed.
I always hear people say that YouTubers should not be allowed to make movies. Well, first of all, and second of all, after seeing this, yeah, I kind of agree.
Okay, so wait, hold on. You start by contesting the point YouTubers shouldn't be making movies, show 2 movies made by YouTubers that were received rather well as your first counterpoints, and for your second counterpoint, you just concede to the points? I sure hope you weren't on the debate team in high school.
Because, aside from what I just said, Ryan cannot act worth a fuck, especially in voice acting. In all the live action bits, he seems like he is so out of it and doesn't care because he thinks this is still one of his stupid little YouTube videos.
Yeah, good child actors are seriously really hard to come by. And since this is a cash grab YouTuber movie, it wouldn't surprise me if everybody, not just the kids on set, just didn't give a fuck with anything they did.
But in the animated portion, which is most of the movie, this kid clearly needed a second take or some speech classes because every time he has to say his S's, he will constantly slip up big time. Here's just like a good example of like how he would possibly say it. Sally sells seashells by the seashore. SpongeBob SquarePants.
Oh, we kind of just evolved from potentially having a more nuanced discussion about child actors to just making fun of this kid for how he talks. Oh, fuck off. Me and Paige are more cool.
Don't make me say it.
Say what?
I've already said it enough times before. You already know what I'm gonna say.
No, I don't. What are you gonna say? I haven't seen Metalocalypse and I don't want to scale out the rest of your channel to understand this one joke. What the fuck were you gonna say?
Another thing about Ryan is that he is not a very likable lead. And 2 things that don't help that fact is that he is always yelling at his little sisters for the littlest things, and he can seem a little narcissistic when he just surrounds himself with Ryan's World merch and collectibles.
So he's basically just the average kid then? Or, well, kid in quotation marks so they can sell shitty toys to actual kids?
But back to the whole Ryan's a bad actor thing, there are multiple times where he will slip up on his lines and no one was willing to say, we needed a second take on that. And I probably know why they didn't have the balls to say anything. Because this is Ryan's World, motherfuckers, and Ryan's in control!
Or nobody gave a flying fuck and they just wanted to do all this for a paycheck? Why do you keep pushing this weird idea that Ryan is a dictator controlling everyone around? It's literally the exact opposite.
Hell, there's even a great example of him slipping up in the trailer.
can't be possible. Emma and Kate, I have to save them.
Okay, so he's supposed to say the names of his two little sisters, Emma and Kate. I'm gonna play it again. What do you guys hear?
Emma and Kate, I have to save them.
Okay, I hear monkeys. Who is this kid's acting coach? Actually, let's be honest, he probably didn't have an acting coach because, again, he was probably a little Homelander on set thinking he could do whatever the fuck he wants because he's Ryan of Ryan's World.
So Ryan's gonna go around poking everyone in the gut and calling them fat then? I don't fucking know, I don't watch the goddamn show.
But then even everyone around him makes him out to be kind of unlikable because there's a scene very early on where they go to a comic book store and the guy working there literally tells Ryan, yeah, my little sister thinks of you more as her big brother than she does me. And true, that statement didn't make him feel very good, but you really do start to question, like, why do people like this kid and why do kids look up to him?
Because the movie is a vanity project that wrote Ryan to be such a great kid that other characters only hate him because they're jealous of others loving him too much.
Like, I'm not even kidding. The kids in front of me at the movie theater after it was over said, Mommy, I wish I was Ryan.
If I were to guess, I think they were talking about being in Ryan's position where he's a YouTube star and got to be a superhero in a comic book. I don't think shallow kids are going to notice that Ryan in the movie doesn't have many likable personality traits to adopt.
I didn't like that at all.
Okay, this is gonna be my new favorite video to spam on Discord. Right next to Yusuke saying that was truly cringeworthy in Persona 5 Royal, and the sound clip of Andy Samberg yelling the word pussy in Like a Boss.
That was truly pussy!
And then when it comes to the two little girls, Emma and Kate, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. They're up there as some of the worst kid actors next to the two little girls from Cool Cat Fights Coronavirus. And someone must have realized this as well, because in the live action bits, they play themselves and whatnot. But in the animated portion, they are clearly played by some grown women or someone clearly older than them, even though they say in the credits that it was them. And yeah, it's really goddamn distracting.
Pick it up! Now you pick it up! Ah! Heart beat! That's combo!
Ooh, yeah, that's incredibly noticeable. They really didn't even try at all. Normally, I'm for crediting voice actors for the work they put in. Side rant, but it's really fucking annoying that Genshin and Zenless Zone Zero never credit their English VAs right away. But this is an exception where I think the voice actors should be fortunate to not be credited for the work they put in. Oh, I guess the entire voice cast is listed on Wikipedia then, so never mind, someone snitched.
So basically what happens is that Ryan goes to the comic book store with a friend of his, and they find this comic book that used his characters that he came up with, I guess. Like, the movie just implicates that we're supposed to know these, like, superhero characters. And I should probably mention that there's a bit where they find a comic called Duct Tape Dude. And the comic is sticky. They didn't think that joke out very well, did they?
Okay, yeah, that's a pretty embarrassing oversight. I mean, there are some real baddies in comic books, so you know there are people out there who would just leave some radioactive waste behind in an issue with just the right panel, if you know what I'm saying.
You all know where I'm going with this.
It's frozen.
And to kind of ruin that pretty funny observation by dragging it out and letting a clip from something else make a joke for you.
And guess what? It's a magic comic book. And what eventually happens is that a portal opens up that sucks the two little girls into it, so Ryan must go in there and rescue them. I should also point out that I guess Ryan took some stupid pills in this world, because in this world, he can fly as a superhero. But throughout the movie, there are constant scenes where him and his friends are in some kind of danger, whether it be like falling into lava or something, and he never thinks twice to fly away.
I mean, if that is the case, then yeah, pretty shitty writing. Honestly, despite his zany outburst, Trev is making significantly more good points about the movie he's reviewing than other users I've covered have made about the movies they've reviewed.
Ugh! She's such a pervert with Brenda's legs. Like, what is she? A lesbian? I have no words for her. And I don't even want to talk about the word lesbian because I'm not the kind of guy who sees lesbians.
What a fucking first word of dialogue from Blade in Deadpool and Wolverine. You know what I'm saying.
Some of his jokes could use a redraft, though. I forgot exactly what Blade's first line in Deadpool and Wolverine was, so I had to look up camera ups of the movie on YouTube to jog my memory.
And if this plot in any way is starting to sound familiar, yes, it is the same plot as Space Jam: A New Legacy, minus the basketball game.
So, like, the Looney Tunes are still going to show up in this movie, then? I mean, I know WB hasn't really given a fuck about them in recent years, but I didn't know it was so bad to the point where they were outright giving the rights for them to Ryan's World for, like, $2 or whatever.
But instead of a memorable Don Cheadle villain like Al G. Rhythm, God, that movie's so bad, but I love it. But instead of that, this movie has the big bad known as the Big Bad. I'm not even making that up. This movie is so fucking lazy that they couldn't come up with a name for their literal big bad.
I mean, yeah, the big bad is clearly a lame villain name they didn't give a fuck about, but it's also a stupid movie for toddlers, so I'm honestly not really that offended by it. Like, it just doesn't instill that much annoyance in me like the villain name Evelyn Dever from The Incredibles 2. God, that fucking movie. I know we're supposed to make fun of Gaming Magic 13, but his video series on Incredibles 2 honestly brings up a lot of solid points against that film if you can get past the frantic and shouty delivery.
But man, the big bad, let me tell ya, he's so evil that anytime you say his name, this will happen. The big bad. Oh my god, so fucking evil. Oh my god.
Okay, that actually got a pretty good chuckle out of me. You've officially made up for all those other jokes you botched earlier.
Oh, and there's also like this evil, bizarre version of Ryan, or as he's called in this world, Red Titan, who's like kind of the henchman of the big bad, who's known as, are you ready for this? Dark Titan.
Okay, I just love how he tried to show a picture of Dark Titan, but instead of using a still from the movie or from the trailer, he just cropped the character out of the background he's already using for the review and basically just pasted the exact same image over itself. Ah, the world of users is just full of endless possibilities.
Anytime I have said that name to somebody, all I can think of is Dog Hot from the Nostalgia Critic Care Bears 2 review. Dog Hot! Time for a game of disappearing Ryans.
Oh god fucking damn it, of fucking course he watches Nostalgia Critic. Why do all these weird internet reviewers always just come straight back to the fucking Nostalgia Critic? Like, I'm autistic and watched the fuck out of him in high school and college, and even I couldn't fucking explain it to you.
But the only reason I bring up Dark Titan is because there's a scene where we're in like his castle lair place thing, I don't know what it was, and there's just like a row of statues of him, and there's one that just did this. I gotta lean down to do it.
Okay, he's holding his fist out?
It's not like he had like his arm to the side or anything. No, just doing this.
Yes, we can clearly see that. What's the problem here?
Man, if he stuck his hand out, that would look so fucking bad.
Are you fucking implying that Superman is a closet Nazi?
And I'm not making this up. There's a bit where the two little girls are in a cage, and they are upset that he was not a unicorn, and they literally say the line, you know the first rule of Unicorn Club? Never talk about Unicorn Club. Why the fuck are we making Fight Club references in a Ryan's World movie?
I mean, it is pretty strange to make an adult reference like that in a kid's movie like this, but is it really worth screaming over?
Ryan! I know for sure your ass hasn't seen Ryan's World, and there's no way in hell your audience has seen Ryan's World!
You mean that Ryan and his audience haven't seen Fight Club?
I mean, Fight Club!
Okay, so you acknowledge your mistake, so why the fuck couldn't you just do another take then?
You know, recently, after seeing Deadpool and Wolverine, I kept saying that certain movies need to just open like that movie where Deadpool is dancing to NSYNC and killing everybody.
But then the movie would become rated R, and the target demographic of Ryan's World wouldn't even be able to see it. Well, okay, technically they're coming with their parents either way, so I guess they'd still be able to see it, but I don't think a majority of the parents would take their kids to see the movie if it was that violent.
This movie deserves something special. It needs a shot of Tyler Durden's dick out of fucking nowhere in the movie.
You know, Trev, I feel I've been pretty generous with the haha PDF jokes throughout this video, but you making a joke that the Ryan's World fanbase consisting almost entirely of children should be exposed to Brad Pitt's cock is just kinda sus.
So when the snooty cat and the courageous dog with the celebrity voices meet for the first time in Reel 3, that's when you'll catch a flash of Tyler's contribution to the film.
This is so cool. Am I really in a comic book?
And he's made an entire edit of this joke to double down. Great. Hey, can somebody make sure that Ryan from Ryan's World never sees this review despite Trev's demanding he does?
Nobody knows that they saw it, but they did. Nice big cock.
Welcome to Dark Tiger.
Ryan, if that happened in your fucking movie, I'm telling you, fucking moneymaker right here.
No, they would be losing money. Because again, parents are not going to take their kids, the target demographic of Ryan's World, to see a movie where Deadpool kills guys with his cock or whatever the fuck.
And I guess while we're on the subject about this whole comic book world, we need to talk about the animation. So when it comes to the style, character designs, and just all-around colorful aesthetic, it's not that bad. But when it comes to how the characters move and talk, it's fucking abysmal! It's very obvious that they're kind of going for like this anime style look and feel, and with that being the case, I can safely say that this is the worst anime I've ever seen in my life.
You wanna bet?
It didn't take long for me at all to realize that they didn't even try to sync up the lip movement with the voices, because they will either be talking while the mouths aren't moving, and when they are talking, they are clearly not saying what is actually being said. And what really screws this movie over with that decision is that this was made in America. So unless the animated bits actually came from Japan, then this is just poorly animated in every meaning of the word.
So I did a quick Google search, and the animation studio that worked on the movie is Shin-A Animation, which is a Japanese studio. So knowing this, it would make it pretty likely that they animated the movie using the audio of Japanese voice actors, then sent it over to the US where Ryan and everybody else dubbed over it in English. Hence why the lip flaps don't match the audio. I was able to come to this conclusion just by typing Ryan's World Movie Animation Studio in the Google search bar. Can't you just do basic research before you record all this stuff? I know this probably sounds rich coming from a guy who got someone's gender wrong in a video because everybody else was saying they were a girl, but be better than me, goddammit.
There's even this one whole thing where the two little girls find out that they both have telekinetic powers in this comic book world, and one of them literally says, "How do you say that without moving your mouth?" How do any of you fuckers say anything without moving your mouths? This is a better question.
Oh my god, this guy's such a roller coaster. He'll make me baffled about a stupid point one moment, only to make me laugh with an outrageous reaction immediately after.
And if you're curious as to if there's a certain anime that they're kind of taking inspiration from, kinda. And it's Sailor Moon.
As someone who's really only watched the Nostalgia Critic review of Sailor Moon, even I can tell you that this is a stretch. Then again, you've probably only seen his review too, so there must have been something else that led to both of us coming to such different conclusions.
Aside from the whole superhero aspect, Ryan, or Red Titan, has a sidekick who's this cat, bat, Pokemon creature that sounds awfully familiar to the cat from Sailor Moon.
Cats are really fucking common in anime though.
Speaking of cats, the little pink cat in this movie looks like she's kind of dressed like Sailor Moon, minus the mini skirt.
She's kind of designed more like Wonder Woman than Sailor Moon, to be honest. Also, both characters wear skirts.
And I'm not even fucking with you when I say this. The big bad, our literal the big bad, looks like fucking Tuxedo Mask. What is this movie?
Well, that is a mask, but he clearly isn't wearing a tuxedo, and he also doesn't have the iconic top hats. Have you not even seen the "but you didn't even do anything" meme at all? That looks almost nothing like Tuxedo Mask.
And I guess since I mentioned like almost every detail about this movie, might as well bring up the parents.
So are we finally going to mention the elephant in the room, or is Ryan still an evil supervillain who's going to start World War III?
I mean, they're barely in this, but man, what they have the dad do is just utterly retarded.
Well, looks like I'm getting drafted tomorrow morning then.
I gotta say it once.
Yeah, so if anyone's still mad about me using that word earlier, if he gets a one-time pass per video, then so do I.
Ryan's friend has to make sure that his parents don't find out that him and his little sisters are stuck in a comic book, and there's literally a part where the dad comes to his bedroom door, dressed in a pink bunny outfit, hopping to the door, he's like, "Oh, Ryan's gonna pull me out of the hat, because I'm his little bunny." And then he walks away, shaking his bunny ass.
And the animals showing their asses?
Did I forget to mention that I drove an hour out of town to watch this movie and dropped $9.02 to watch it? Yeah, I forgot to mention, I paid to see this stupid shit.
You told an entire story earlier about how you had to prove you were a YouTuber to buy a ticket for some reason. We already know you paid to watch the movie.
This video better pass 1,000 views and give me some new subscribers. I'm just saying.
Oh, don't worry, it did.
As for positives, yes, I actually got a positive. I actually will say that I am 100% behind the Big Bad's backstory. Basically, he's mad at Ryan because he just wanted to play with his little sister, and once she was 3 years old, she got an iPad and got so obsessed with Ryan's world to the point where she didn't want to play with him anymore.
So the conflict of this YouTuber movie meant to make money is basically caused by technology and thus gives a message of phone bad? Seems a bit counterproductive.
First off, I already have my issues with giving a 3-year-old an iPad or any electronics of any kind.
Yeah, but showing them Brad Pitt's dick is okay, apparently.
But, man, I legit felt bad for him. He just wanted to play with his little sister. But no, Ryan had to fuck that up. You dick.
Yeah, because Ryan kidnapped his sister and forced her to watch all of his videos if she wanted to eat any meals while locked up in a cell. Clearly this was a dick move.
And I know I haven't said exactly who the big bad is, but if you've been paying really close attention to everything I've said in this review, then you probably put together who it is.
Yeah, it's clearly the comic book store owner you mentioned 10 minutes ago who said his sister saw Ryan as more of a brother than she did him. I don't know why you had to turn this into some kind of pop quiz.
But then this whole scenario makes Ryan look like an even bigger asshole because he saves the Titan universe by just beating up the big bad, who again just wanted to play with his little sister, and Ryan, being the stupid little asshole that he is, had no sympathy for this guy at all.
So, if the character who suffered by the hand of the big bad iPad was just beaten up with little remorse like you said, then yeah, I guess the movie wasn't telling kids not to watch more slop on YouTube then. Okay, so I decided to read the Wikipedia summary on this movie some more, and if it's to be believed, the big bad's plan was to straight up kill Ryan and his sisters out of jealousy for his own sister's affection. Like, it straight up uses the K word. So basically, Trev is sympathizing with a man who abducted 3 real children in order to kill them over something that wasn't even really their own fault, and is honestly just really petty. Game theory, but maybe Trev's movies grows up to be Trevor Phillips from GTA 5, and reviewing movies was his gateway into his insane criminal life.
Fucking shit! Cut!
But I guess in the big bad's defense for getting his ass beat, he had a giant lizard while Ryan was fighting with an egg mech. I'm gonna say that again. Egg mech. Like mecha egg.
So like, did he not rent it from Dr. Eggman then, or did he still get it from him?
I also need to mention that they had to save this Titan universe, but we never get to know this world very well, or its residents at all, to the point where I'm very convinced that the only people living in this world are all of our characters who are going to be completely fine no matter what. So it's like, what the hell are they supposed to be protecting? Like, what, just those buildings over there?
You do realize that buildings are typically filled with people, right? And the bigger the building, the more people are inside them.
Oh no! They look so fucking scared. I mean, unless there's like 2 of them and a plane's coming towards them, then yeah, they should be scared.
Do you not know that people died on September 11th, 2001 in New York City? Because you're making it out like you just think some empty buildings fell over.
Bob the building. He's a building. Bob the building. Oh no!
I guess you just didn't know that then. Just another thing you could have Googled before making this video, I suppose.
Also, at the beginning of this movie, there's this whole thing where Ryan's like sawing this guy in half during a live stream, and it almost like could end up in a lawsuit just for the fact that while they're doing the live stream, they have to cut the feed while the guy is still in half because...
Wouldn't it be worse if they didn't cut the feed? Typically, if a horrible accident happens live, you want to get people's eyes off of it as soon as possible.
Like, Ryan has like this magic goo that he's like supposed to use to put the guy back together, even though he can just push the thing back together. But like his little sister stole it, and where's I going with this?
How the fuck should I know?
It's like his little sister stole the goo, and he has to go get it back, and he just leaves the guy there sawed in half, but like the friend recording it cuts the live stream, and everyone's just freaking the fuck out. I hope what I just said made a lot of sense, because that just sounded like rambling to me.
No, it was rambling.
I would also like to mention that the guy he sawed in half, who I guess is like this other big YouTuber, said to Ryan that he was one of his heroes. This guy is like 10 years older than Ryan. We've been having to watch out for a lot of guys on YouTube recently. Do we gotta add this guy to the list?
I mean, you haven't really been doing yourself any favors to keep yourself off that list either.
And this isn't a positive, but I will give it to the movie that it did only have one bodily fluid joke. But it was a really bad bodily fluid joke.
But I thought there was an accidental cum joke with the Duct Tape Man comic.
But apparently it's such a fucking knee slapper, that's even the big joke in the trailer.
That's combo.
Okay, I guess to get more context of what was going on in that scene, the 2 little girls are in a cage while the cat and the panda were in a cage right next to them, but the 2 little girls didn't believe that they were the cat and the panda. So, what happened? Oh yeah, the cat said or did something where they're like, oh, that's the cat. But then the panda's like, I can dance! But then he like lands on his stomach and farts. And they're like, that's Combo! And the only reason I remember his name was Combo because all I could think of was like a restaurant deal where it's like a 2-for-1 combo or something.
Thank you for taking nearly 30 seconds to explain that 5-second joke. The joke is still just as unfunny as you initially said it was. Why did you waste our time with this exactly?
So I'm pretty positive that that was all I had to say about Ryan's World of Movie, Titan Universe Adventure, which is hands down the most embarrassing theater experience of my entire life, and that's come from someone who's seen both Paw Patrol movies in theaters. But I'll give it to both of those movies. They were freaking insane, with like the first one giving Chase PTSD.
Oh great, he's one of those animationist cinema people who glorify panic attacks in kids' films.
This is not that. It's not in any way funny bad, it's not memorably bad, it's just bad. I guess my recommendation is that if you have kids that love Ryan's World, they'll probably like this movie, but that doesn't mean you need to go to a theater to see it. But if you're a grown-ass adult like me, don't even think about going to see this in movie theaters. You'll probably have the same experience I did.
So why didn't you just take to the high seas to watch this movie then instead of driving an hour to a movie theater you pissed yourself in or whatever?
Look, I'm too old for this movie, more than likely you're too old for this movie. Even Ryan himself is way too freaking old for his own movie. I don't like this kid. I think he's a bad role model for kids despite being a kid himself, and I can safely say that I don't like his movie.
I feel like most of your anger should be directed towards the parents, but whatever, it's your opinion, I guess. Best not bash it unless I want to become the next anime VTuber Catboy Josue me.
Plus, this user is also the opinion basher.
So I'm gonna give Ryan's World the movie, Titan Universe Adventure, a very low D-. Like, it's barreling into an F. Last time I'm gonna say this, I'm not even kidding when I say this. This movie gave me a little bit of PTSD, because even after I left the movie and it was done, I was still like, ah! God damn, fuck! Fuck, I don't want to do this! And I'm like, wait a minute, I already seen the damn thing. Why am I still freaking out? So yeah, it gave me PTSD. That's my review on, like, Rotten Tomatoes or something, if I was a Rotten Tomatoes critic. It'd be, this movie gave me PTSD.
Honestly, that review would be the best Rotten Tomatoes review ever put on the site.
And then, when could Mario turn into a cat? I guess, like, if you're into furries, that works. And maybe that'll play really well in Asian markets. I know they love cats over there, like, love cats.
I would also just like to thank anyone who either voted for Alien Romulus or just didn't vote at all. Because today, you guys are my favorite people. Unlike the assholes who voted on this dumb shit.
But the people who didn't vote could have saved you from Ryan's World had they voted for Alien Romulus instead. Shouldn't you be mad at them for that?
You like this? Someone created this for me for my thumbnail. I thought it was funny.
I feel like maybe you could have at least credited them in the description, but whatever, not too big a deal, I guess.
The best way I can put it for anyone who voted for Alien Romulus or just didn't vote at all? You are my number one, guys.
Number one guys, plural, doesn't really sound right. I know you're quoting the Tim Burton Batman movie, but I would have just found a better quote since you're referring to multiple people.
Thanks so much for watching, you guys. Subscribe to my channel, like this video, turn the notification bell, and while you're at it, go follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Trev's Movies, and I'll be back later with more reviews of movies that I probably will not be embarrassed to see. And I'll see you then.
You're a movie reviewer on YouTube with Instagram and TikTok, but not Twitter? Wait, what the fuck am I saying? If he's like this without Twitter, imagine how much worse he'd be if he started using it. So that was Trev's Movies review of Ryan's World the movie, and it just might be the best goddamn movie review I've ever seen. Second best movie review. Third best? Look, it's up there, okay? He actually did make some solid points against the movie, even if a movie like this isn't really all that hard to make good points against. But at the same time, he did it with such a hilariously chaotic energy, telling us all sorts of things we didn't need to know whatsoever, while somehow also being completely oblivious to information that's incredibly obvious to many other people either before or after a quick Google search. While Trev does act pretty outrageous, so long as he's not hurting anyone, I sincerely hope his channel continues to grow so that he can bring joy to as many people as possible. Like or dislike the video depending on what you thought of it, share your thoughts in the comments down below, subscribe if you'd like to see more of my content, and as always, have a good day or night.